listen to me and listen very clearly. You are not an IFBB pro. What's up, everyone? This is Christian Duke from StrengthAddicts.com. One of the things that really irks me, really pulls my chain, is that you've got people that are claiming to be pros, taking money out of the hands of people that worked a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to get that coveted IFBB pro card, and they are stealing. They are stealing from these people by holding themselves out to be IFBB pros, and they're not. So there are two scenarios that we need to talk about. The first one is a more innocent, I hope, more, let's say, careless mistake, and that is those that compete in Europe. Now, in Europe, they don't have an NPC. They have an IFBB amateur and they have an IFBB pro. The problem is when you're not clear about which one you're in. Because I've seen bodybuilders that go around saying IFBB bodybuilder. See, that's not quite honest enough. Because if you're saying you're an IFBB bodybuilder and you're going to an American company that sells supplements or t-shirts or weight training belts or whatever, and let's say you've got a great physique, because hey, in the NPC, if you look at our national level, top ranked national level athletes in the NPC, I mean, they could bury a lot of the pros around the world. They could bury some of the pros here in America. They're that good because the bar keeps getting higher and higher to get a pro card. But hold on. So let's say that you're selling yourself, promoting yourself as an IFBB bodybuilder from Austria, from the Czech Republic, from Russia, whatever. If a company gives you a contract because they think you're pro, you're stealing money from the people that have spent the better part of 10 years trying to get a pro card. People like Joe Thomas. You're stealing from them. You're stealing from Vinny Galante. You're stealing from Bob Ciccarello. You're stealing from Jerome Ferguson. You're stealing from people that gave their all and never gave up and kept coming back. You're stealing from WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So the reality of the matter is that you are stealing from people that have earned pro status by not being completely honest about your amateur status. See, here in America, you're an NPC competitor. In Europe, you're an IFBB one. So if you're amateur, you know, try to do things correctly. And don't hide behind that whole language barrier bullshit, because you know what I'm talking about. I mean, even if you may not understand, aunque no me entiendan lo que estoy diciendo, you know what you're doing. So try not to steal, because that's what you're doing. You're stealing from the work of those that made it. Make it on your own and then claim that pro status. Otherwise, don't be slimy. Now, the second situation is for those of you here in America that know, a lot better, and you know that you shouldn't be doing that. Now, I've seen some advertisements, and this isn't this person's fault, but I've seen some advertisements where they'll say, professional bodybuilders, and they'll list a bunch of professional bodybuilders, but one of those people is not a professional bodybuilder. And one of those people happens to own and operate a very successful website in the industry. It's not his fault. Unless, of course, he didn't do his due diligence and, inform whoever made that ad that, hey, I'm really not an IFBB pro bodybuilder. You should, put me down as an NPC, top-ranked national competitor. But then there's examples of people that are doing the promotion themselves and say they're, an IFBB pro. Or they'll say NPC/IFBB competitor. That's also not entirely honest. Now, I don't know if the NPC or the IFBB are cracking down on this, but I certainly think they should. It's just my 2 cents. Because I think it's stealing from the people that have earned the pro card. It's wrong. And it's wrong for all the people also that have been, like a Kate Cooper, who's just been, just tirelessly working for that pro card. She's not claiming pro status. But if someone that's like a half-rank amateur is, then you're even potentially doing a disadvantage to people like Kate Cooper and others that are just constantly knocking on that door for that pro card because they're on the cutting edge. They're the very, very best of the amateur. You're taking away from them because you're jumping over them. And you're taking away from the pros because you're literally taking their livelihood because these companies don't know any better. I mean, you are an IFBB competitor, you're just not an IFBB pro. So again, It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's wrong. And just because it may not be policed as aggressively as it should be, doesn't take away from the fact that it's dishonest and that you're stealing from others.